But I'm here. There we go. And here I go. I don't have no music on today. Shit. On my computer. Dev. Devin, honey. Let's see. Devin. Devin. Can you get my computer? Sure. It's Sunday. Can you get my computer? Can you get my computer? Can you turn it off the spinning thing and just make sure that it's pointing to me? My computer though. Let's see. I realized I wasn't playing music. I hear a song or two from my playlist. Thank you. You're the best. Hey girl. Just getting my life together. Trying to be on time. You know, like you're not ready, but you but you just damn if you're gonna be late. Yeah. That's where I am right now. Actually, yeah, let me play some off of this. Alright, while we're waiting. How's your Sunday? What's good? What's going on with you? I've been I said it last week, I've been making these playlists, like mood playlists. This one is called Abundance. I'm gonna talk about abundance today. I'm also gonna talk about bad habits today. But this song, I don't know if you hear it, it's on DJ Khaled's album, which I feel like his albums are not good, but there'll always be a song or two that catches my attention. And this one is Justin Timberlake, Just Be. I'm back. Yeah. Hey, stop. My dog. No. Down. Thank you. But anyways, I'm gonna start talking because I'm finna head out. So it's just this one little baby here that don't want to cooperate. But last week I talked about abundance and just getting prepared. Thank you. Getting prepared for getting prepared to receive and what that means and what that looks like. And then I said that I issued a challenge because I wanted people to start doing their own work. Because like I come on here and I talk about, okay, these are all the things that I did and I done, right? But then it's like, the point is so you could do it too. So you could, not have these barriers and obstacles in your way. Just like I think I no longer have them in my way. But shit, what do I know? Hey! I'll tell you, having animals is worse than having children. I think because they don't talk back, I don't know what they're thinking. Like, do you hear me? Yes or no? Anyways, but I say all that to say, like, I've been trying to be diligent about, what's it called? What I want to say. I've been trying to be diligent about sharing what I learn as I grow, right? And so I was talking to my friend today, and y'all know I know people, but I don't have a lot of people I consider friends per se. But I feel like, with my friends, like, maybe they get tired of me, like, pushing them in a certain direction or, like, trying to motivate them or give them advice or help them or tell them what I do. But I told my friend today, like, I'm listening to this, I have this abundance playlist, and it's, like, a lot of, like, feel good songs. I got Gucci Mane on here. I got some Mary Mary. It's a mix of stuff. But the point is like abundance, like, and I was telling my friend, I was saying like, she was like, what are you doing today? So when I get up on Sundays is all about finances for me. So I check my bank statements. Sunday is when I research my stocks. Like anything that has to do with money, I'm gonna do it on Sunday, right? I'm checking my budget, like, everything, because I'm on a budget. So anyways, I'm just like, I'm doing all this stuff. And I was telling her, I was like, look, if you still want to be my friend moving forward, we have been friends for a while. If you still want to be my friend moving forward, like, I'm gonna need you to like, I didn't say be on a limb. I was like, I'm gonna need you to get rich too, because here's the thing, like, I want to be rich with my friends. Like, I want to make money with my friends, right? So if you're not on that, eventually we're not going to be able to be friends, because I'm definitely going to change when I get some money. Like, I'm going to be like on some rich nigga shit for real. And I want you to be too. And I don't want you to be mad or be jealous or feel like we can't be friends, because like you can have it too. Like in my dreams of like my friends, like I want to be like, I told my friend this, a different friend this a couple of years ago, like every year Diddy does this Thanksgiving dinner, right? Everybody be there. Like, think like Rock Nation brunch, but this is like Diddy's Thanksgiving. And it's just like, I want my family to be in the company of other people that are doing well in life. Like, we're not going to be hanging around y'all broke asses forever. Because after a certain point, it's a choice, right? And I'm not even saying that I'm rich. Because I'm not. I'm broke. I don't want to say I'm broke. That's not me manifesting. I don't have a lot of money. But what I will say is I am learning, and this goes along with abundance, right? If I am giving, then I also have to be ready to receive, right? So I am sharing what I learn as I go, because when I get to where I'm going, I don't want anybody to say that Brandy was holding back. Nothing that I do to heal, nothing that I do to learn, nothing that I do to earn money do I keep a secret from anybody. If you were to spend the time, and I probably have like 10,000 Instagram posts, because I've been on Instagram since forever. I've been on the internet since forever, right? If you scroll back through my posts, like I really don't be saying nothing different. Like I'm still repeating shit that I've said since I've been on Instagram. Now, do people want to listen? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe when I get to, I reach my Diddy level, then people will be like, oh, okay, let me go back and see the blueprint. But it's all there. Sometimes I go back and look at it like, damn, like, you knew what to do. Why didn't you do it, Brandy? And now a lot of those things I'm doing, right? Like getting the weight off of guilt or feeling like I have to be there and support other people. Like, you really don't have to hold people's hand. You just have to lead in a way that shows them the way, right? Like people say, like, oh, you could bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But the thing is, like, nobody ever asked the horse if they wanted water. And that's what I think I've learned when it comes to abundance. Like, I be so hard on people, like, you can do this, you should do this, like, I believe in you, right? But I'm rooting for a success that they never stated that they wanted, right? I see a potential, I see a future that you never said you wanted. So you're not going to be successful at it until you want it. At least that's how I feel. But I could be wrong. I'm just saying that. Like, I've had a lot of time to talk to people this week. I don't know what I've been doing or slacking on, but I've had a lot of time to talk to people. I'm trying to get my friends up to speed, because I just feel like I'm in a place where my life is about to look a whole lot differently. Hey, girl. And I just want y'all to be ready. I want to take people with me. Although I know, this is a video on my page too, everybody can't go, but the people who are meant to be there, I really feel like they are going to go. I've had, this week I've really been like in my spiritual bag. I've been doing tarot, been pulling cards every day, and it reminded me that when I was younger, like right after my dad died, he started coming to me in dreams, right? And like trying to tell me how to use my spiritual gift and intuition. And as a child, I wasn't into that. That freaked me out, because I really didn't understand death. I didn't understand why I was seeing my dad. I didn't understand like what was happening, what was going on, right? So I think that gift has left me and has passed me. However, I've always felt like I've had spiritual guides and guidance that has come along the way. So like I would be out doing something and like maybe doubting myself or feeling unsure about something. It will always be just some random person at the random right time that would come up and say something. Hey, that would come up and say something that would put my mind at ease, but that would recall really bring my memory back and recall to a time of what my dad said. Now, when I was getting these dreams or whatever, now why I remember this, I don't know. I was like 5 or 6, but my dad was coming to me in dreams, and I was like getting scared. I would wake up, night sweats and all stuff like that. And the one thing that he said is, on some like, I'll be back, I'll be around. Don't worry, like I won't leave you, right? So I had this experience. So y'all know I have the skincare line, and I was out like vending at an event, and I was like sales was slow. Like, this is like the first time I quit my job. And like I was really relying on these events to support me. So it's like, a 5, 6, 7, 8 hour event. What have you is like, sales are slow. So I'm sitting there like, damn, like in my mind doing the calculations, like, okay, I need to sell this in order to get this, but this ain't happening. Like, okay, there's only 3 people walk past this table. Like, Brandy, what are you gonna do? And this random lady came up and was like, how are you? How are things? Blah, blah, blah. How's your son? And I'm thinking like maybe she see me at another market because I used to bring my son all the time. This particular day he wasn't with me. And I was like, oh, he's good. But I always get suspicious when people start asking me like questions other than hi, how you doing? Right? So she was just like, yeah, how's your son? And I was like, he's good. And she was like, oh, okay. And she was like, you hear about yourself, but you're not really alone. And I was like, girl, obviously, like it's a whole big festival. Clearly I'm not alone. And now you're here talking to me. So she was like, let me get one of everything. So I'm like, bet, like pull out the bag. I'm dumping stuff in the bag. And she keeps talking. I'm just like, yeah. Pull out the card or the cash. And then she was like, you know what? I know it feels lonely, but you're never really alone. And I was like, oh shit, like, let's go. Spiritual intuition, like, is here. Like, I get it, right? And there are always things that come and remind me of people that have passed. Like, anytime I get unexpected money or I randomly find money, like, I haven't put my phone in a case in forever, right? This morning, I was looking for my case because I needed to run downstairs to get in the car. And what's in my case? My ID. But look, $20. And that reminds me of my dad, my stepdad, because my stepdad used to always borrow money from us as kids. And he'd be like, I'll pay you back. And he would never pay us back. He would just never. But he would always say, as long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. And like, I'm never really broke because I always find random money, like abundance, right? There's another time when I was in college and I went to the school, and I will tell you, when it came to college, I did not care what school I went to. I did not care. Like, I didn't care, right? I just knew I just needed to get a degree. And so I was like, I'm going to apply to a bunch of schools. All of them are going to be out of state. Like, I'm going for the scholarship. And I just chose a school that had the best, that offered me the best scholarship package because I wouldn't pay for that shit. And I went to the school and it was terrible. Like, y'all have probably heard my KKK story. My roommate was selling meth. Like, it had a whole meth lab in my thing. Like, our room got busted. Like, I almost went to jail because, of course, the black girl is selling meth. Long story short, it was just not for me. At that time, too, I was engaged, and my fiance lived in New York, and I just was starting to feel like this is not the place that I need to be, although I was going to school for free, right? Like, it was a perfect setup. It was exactly what I wanted, but it didn't feel like me. And I'm walking to class. Mind you, I'm late as fuck. Like, I'm walking to class in the snow. And I'm walking. And I get into this building, and this lady is like, she was like, you should slow down because you're already late. First of all, lady, who are you, right? Like, who are you and how do you know that I'm late, right? And she was, like, you know what? She was like, you should slow down because you're already late. She was like, but, when you go home, make this your last trip. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it's January. Like, go home. Like, ain't no break coming up. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, because, you're not alone. And I was like, shit. Divine intervention. And I bring all that up. That was a long-winded story. But I bring all that up because the other day I was sitting in this meeting. And I'm just regular, I've been feeling kind of down, and I talked about this last time too. Like I was feeling kind of down, and when I try to do everything to like lift myself up. So I've been getting up, I need my hair done. I've been, laying my edges down. I've been doing my makeup, all the stuff, right? And I was just like, I'm always feeling like I'm doing stuff, and I don't know if I'm doing the right stuff. I don't know if it's paying off. Like I take a lot of risk in life. And then, as I always say, once you make the decision, you're always free to choose. But once you choose, you're not free of the consequences. So I made a decision, right? And I'm out here now. And now I'm like, it's now time to reap what I have sown. And I'm not seeing the reap that I thought I was going to sow, right? And so I'm like, damn. And I'm sitting on this call, and this lady is talking about God knows what. But she was talking for a while, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm on Zoom, and I had my camera off. I turned my camera off. And literally everybody was like, oh my God, Brandy, you're glowing. Like there's just an aura around you. And I'm like, yes, it is me, okay? And then I'm like, so then it was my turn to talk, and I said some stuff, and the lady was like, I just have to say this, right? Like, she was like, your reward is so close you can touch it. She's like, it's radiating off of you. All you have to do, Brandy, all you have to do is open your hands and get ready to receive it. Right? She said, you think you're out there fighting the battle by yourself, but you're not really alone. Right? And so I'm on the Zoom meeting with people I don't really know, and y'all know I don't cry. I mean, I cry, but I crawl under my bed for the tears. I don't cry in front of people. I definitely don't cry on camera. So, of course, I turned my camera back off because I needed to shed a tear. Because how is it, right? How is it? And I'm going to tell y'all, I fuck up a lot. How is it that I keep fucking up and somehow I end in the right place, in the right position to be blessed? It ain't me. It's that divine intervention, right? And whether or not you believe in whoever you believe, you gotta believe that the universe is here to help and support you. Because why else would you be here, right? So I say all that to say, when I talk about abundance, I really talk about, a stripped down version of being open to receive. That's all abundance is. It's saying, I believe that these things are possible. I believe that there's more of it. I believe that just because, I believe that if other people have it, then there has to be more of it somewhere. It's like when you see, it's like, from teaching. Kids will come in, you'll see, a hot chip on the floor. That hot chip didn't show up by itself. It came from a bag. And if one kid got a bag, somebody else got a bag. And everybody's eating hot chips in here when I said there was no eating, right? Like there's more where that came from. That is simply what abundance is. You believing that there is more where that came from. And part of my belief is, your mind, I learned this a while ago, that your mind can't really tell the difference between reality and fiction, right? You have to train your mind and teach your mind to do that. So if you can believe in one extreme, you can really believe in the other, right? I was just watching this movie, Boss Baby, right? We know that infants don't talk, but the whole movie is based around babies running the world. And for that hour and a half that we're sitting there watching that movie, we're believing it, right? And if we can train our mind to believe that, then we can train our mind to believe anything. So if you want to, like when you put your music on shuffle and then it just don't hit what you wanted it to hit. Now I'm just not even in my playlist no more. Sorry, I get distracted. I have ADHD. I don't know if I told y'all that. But anyways, if you can believe that, then you can train your mind to believe anything. You can train your mind to believe that, success is so close you can touch it. You can train your mind to believe that you can be whatever you want to be. But unfortunately, we have to train our minds to the negative, and then we start believing the negative, and then we get defeated, right? Perfect example, right? I'm talking about abundance, the story I just told y'all. I was telling somebody else, and they was like, really, Brandy? Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe you were glowing. Maybe it was your makeup. Maybe blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's that way because I do believe that I want it to be that way. I take these signs as signs from my ancestors because I want to believe that to be. It could be a total coincidence. It could be not. I just feel like I've cleared out space for things to be in alignment, right? So, abundance. How do you get it? Well, you can't receive anything if you're still holding on to other stuff. And I say that with the what's the word I'm looking for? Caveat that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fully healed in order to receive abundance, in order to have better, right? Because we think like, yes, anxious energy can shift to negative. Yeah, because we think that, okay, like when I'm ready, right? I hear people say that a lot. I'm not ready, or I'm still not over it, right? You can continue to move into that thing that you're not ready for. In fact, like I say, I'm a risk taker. I'm going to leap and jump before, like I was talking last time about the staircase, I'm going to leap and jump before I see the full vision. Because my energy, my manifested energy tells me to like hop on that shit, right? So if I'm like, if I have an idea, I'm like, boom, let me do it. Let me run into the failure quickly. Let me make mistakes fast. Like, let me fuck it up first and then turn around and get it better, right? I don't know what I'm doing. This is probably not right. But guess what? When I jump into it, when I dive and I trust the universe to catch me, you know, it's like on Clueless. Like, she's like, oh my God, if I fall, will you like catch me? Like, the universe is like, yeah, girl, I got you. Because there's only two possible things that could happen, right? And you could go as far extreme as you want. Either it's going to work or it's going to fail. And if it fails, hopefully you learn something in that failure that can help you make it right. Or maybe you don't. Or maybe it fails and you realize, okay, this was a really dumb idea. Let me shift and move my energy into a different space, right? But you're not going to get there until it happens. You know, it's like being a kid playing on the monkey bars. You can't reach for the next. I mean, you can't get to the next bar until you let go of the other one. Now, some of y'all like to, you know, you might have been a kid that's like, oh, I'm scared, so I'm gonna hold on to this bar until I reach that bar, and then that bar, right? Like maybe you was that kind of kid, or maybe you just moving along like American Ninja Warrior style. You just bopping from bar to bar, but you gotta move in order to get to the other side. Now maybe some of y'all still cheated, right? And if people do that, like it's nothing wrong with getting help. You had somebody who was tall because you was scared of falling, and you was on their shoulders. I've done that, okay? You was on their shoulders, but you were still moving across the monkey bars, right? Because you got to move in order to get it, which is why movement is so important. So I was like, I want abundance. I'm trying to reach all these goals. I'm trying to do all these things, right? And then in my mind, and I probably told y'all this earlier this year, that I had been hearing for over a year, like, my spirit had just been telling me to move. Okay? And I interpreted that as like, leave California. And I did, right? And I was like, I moved. And then I get here and spirit would keep being like, move. Like, what are you trying to tell me? And I have this thing, like, I don't know, people say, like, don't question God, but that's all that I do. I really do. I have a lot of questions that I want answered, and I'm going to keep asking until I feel like I understand. And if I don't understand, I'm going to just keep asking because I want to reach a point of understanding. So I keep hearing move. Like, what is move? And so then I got my aura reading, and then things start being more clear. And so it's like, oh, move, like be active. Got it. So I've been doing yoga every morning, right? And what has that opened up for me? For like 2 weeks now. What does that open up for me? One, I'm way more flexible. Two, I have a clearer head, but also now, okay, now, y'all get it? My mind, body, and soul is in alignment to receive, right? My mind, body, and soul is in alignment to receive. If my mind is there and I make the leap, but my body's not there and my soul hasn't said yes yet, this may or may not work out. But everything has been in alignment. Like I was saying about me pulling tarot cards. Every card that I have pulled in the last 2 weeks has just been like, Brandy, you're so close. Like, don't stop, keep going. Like, you need to give up things. And I'm like, what else can I give up? Like, I did a full body cleanse, detox. I moved, so I got rid of a lot of stuff. Like, I am basically a minimalist because I'm looking at spirit like, okay, ching, 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 come through. Like, I've done all the things. And spirit said, move. Be obedient to the voice that you hear, right? That's your intuition. When we ignore our intuition, this is where we get into conflict, because we just doing shit to be doing it, or we're doing shit that somebody else that is in alignment with somebody else's purpose and calling, and not in alignment with ours. Because we see all these people on Instagram, or not even Instagram, people in our life, like we're envious of our family members and our coworkers and all the shit that people got, because we think, right? We have a scarcity mindset. We think if they got it, that we can't have it. Right, my girl Bex is on here, and I was saying several weeks ago that I want a Tesla. How the fuck I'm gonna get it, I don't know. Not even in my my bracket, right? But I'm like, I want a Tesla, and I be seeing Teslas everywhere. I know a lot of people with Teslas, right? I want a red Tesla, and so I be seeing them everywhere. And she'll hit me up or send me some pictures, like, yeah, I just said a red Tesla, because I'm manifesting, right? Tesla might be moving on to something else by the time I get one, but I'm manifesting, right? Me seeing it, right, and her seeing it, right, is letting me know that the universe heard me, right? And when I'm gonna get my Tesla is when my mind, body, soul is in alignment, and I'm open to receive that Tesla. Do I have to going back, and I was talking about relationships before, but going back, do I have to get rid of my Corolla right now in order to receive my Tesla? No. Because when it's time for me to have it, whatever needs to be done and be in order is going to be that way. Right? It's going to be that way. Part of abundance, too, goes hand in hand. I was asking on my stories if y'all wanted to hear about bad habits and abundance, but bad habits and toxicity goes hand in hand, right? You can't receive when you engage in toxic behavior and negative behavior. You can't receive when you wish negativity on other people. I was talking about, but I was reading this meme, and I forget what the meme had said, right? But part of it reminded me about abundance, right? There's more of that. There's more of this where that came from, right? And I always think, you guys know, I talk a lot about relationships. And I was thinking, I journaled about this and trying to figure out why. Like, why do I care so much to be in a relationship? Why does that matter to me, right? I'm not going to get into all of that right now. But basically, you know, like I have always seen, and never really in real life until recently, right? Have always seen, like, really happily, married or not married, just couples who are deeply in love. And that has never been a part of my reality. I've never been in a relationship like that. I've never seen a relationship like that, right? And part of me being a risk taker is like, you know what? Part of me being a creative is like, you know what? I'm going to create that for myself, right? Never seen it, never experienced. I want to create that for myself because I want to raise my son in a healthy family where he sees that. Well, he's not going to be like, damn, I just never seen people in love, so I'm not going to be in love, right? And I was thinking about my last relationship because I prayed a lot for abundance. I journaled a lot about it. I thought I was doing the work, right? But I was ignoring my spirit, the voice that my spirit was giving me, which wasn't telling me to move. It was saying to stop, halt, give up, like you're doing too much, right? And so again, I interpret that as like, okay, this job is not for me. I started looking for different jobs because I was unhappy at my job. And though I was unhappy in my relationship, I was committed to working on it, right? And Spirit is telling me, stop, don't do it. And I said, okay, Spirit, I am confused. But here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to pray for a quick and graceful exit. Whatever you're telling me to stop doing, I'm going to pray that I can stop doing it gracefully because I don't want no drama, right? I don't want to bring no negativity. And I want it to happen quickly, right? Because I can't let this linger. Like, I'm an impatient person. It's going to drive me crazy if I can't figure out what this thing is. And when I tell you, like, in a relationship, like, things were good and things were bad. We were at a place where things were good. Like, we had just had date night. Like, everything was great, right? And it, like, when I say graceful, like, I just never saw him again. How does that happen? No, he's not dead, I don't think. Right? We're living together. he just never came back. Right? And I'm sitting there like, at first I was like ready to explode, right? Because I'm a woman, so everything's going through my mind, right? But then I'm like, shit, I manifested that. Because I'm telling God, like, I don't know. Like, you have to tell me. And people always want to say, like, oh my God, Brandy, you're so smart. Like, I'm really slow. And I'm going to tell y'all that. Like, for real, like, I don't get clues if they're thrown at me. I'm not going to, I don't want to speculate and guess what you mean. Like, I don't read between the lines. Like, you have to tell me straight up. Like, Brandy, this, right? So I'm just like, lost, confused. Like, I'm slightly embarrassed because, I live with this person, we spend all the time together. The nigga's just missing. Like, where'd he go? I don't know. But that was my graceful exit. Like, even in this last job, I'm like, damn, like, in this last job, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my career. Like, I have the title that I asked for. Like, all the things that I asked for, I had. And I wasn't happy, right? Because my spirit is saying move. My spirit is saying move. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Give me a graceful exit. And I swear to God, I was sitting on my computer one day and my hands just started typing. And I was just like, look, I'm done. And there was no fight put up. I was like, look, this is going to be my last day. And they were like, wow, well, okay, boom. Let me send y'all all y'all shit. And I'm done. And then I was done, right? And that move that I have been so scared to make because I'm like, I'm a mom. I'm not just a mom, I'm a single mom. I'm a single mom that just moved to a new city, a new state. I am the sole provider. Like, how is this going to work? How am I going to make it? I be telling myself, like, you know what, Brandon, you can't keep taking risks like that at this stage in your life because you have a child and a dog dependent on you. Like, how they going to eat while you out here, being adventurous? But that risk is rewarded, right? Because I believe that there's more where that came from, right? Like, my Tesla is out there. My husband is out there. Some money finna hit my bank account. It's out there, right? It's happening. Yeah, girl, Bex, we have so much in common. Like, the shit is crazy. But I tell people that story and they just feel like, well, what did you do? What happened? Not a thing. I didn't do anything. And you can cut people off, like, respectfully and move on and not ever want anything from them. Not ever want anything from them. And it might actually torment them in ways that I can't imagine. Like, while I say, in my mind, I'd be like, I don't wish bad on anybody. But sometimes I wish bad on people. I'm just being honest. Sometimes I do. I'm not going to personally do anything bad to them. But I just be hoping, like, sometimes if something bad happens to people. I know y'all be thinking the same thing. I'm gonna just say it. But all that to say, I gave y'all a challenge last week about journaling, about figuring out what your story is. I said write 4 pages about your life story. What has led you to become who you are? And I recognize that y'all probably didn't do that. So I'm going to give y'all another week to do that. Because I think it's important, like, pinpointing and knowing your story. I had asked my mom a while ago. Actually, I asked both of my son's grandparents, grandmothers. I asked his grandfather too, but I don't think, whatever. I asked them to write out their life story, like tell me the history, because I feel like in Black families we don't do that enough, and I always wanted my son to know and understand where he comes from. I think as I got older, I don't want to say me and my mom had a bad relationship when I was growing up, but we definitely weren't close. And so it wasn't until I became a parent, till I became an adult, that I really sat down to listen to and learn her story, that I felt like I could understand her and respect her more, right? And I feel like some of us have gone through things, not some of us, all of us have gone through things, but we hide parts of our story, we want to forget parts of our story, and so we don't really understand the truth of who we are. I was thinking about this because I don't know if y'all know Kevin Gates, and I don't know why I'm listening to the breakup song, but Kevin Gates did this interview, right? And Kevin Gates, the Mr. I Don't Get Tired. And this is my jam, y'all. But he did this interview recently. He talked about being molested as a child, right? And people are like, oh my God, why would you bring it up now? And I actually said the same thing when I was reading Common's book. And he talked about being molested as a child. And it's like when you're an adult, one, like that shit can be embarrassing to like bring up or admit, especially being a man, because you know, masculinity and all that shit. But it's like now you can live out the truth of who you are, right? Because we spend so much time hiding things that happen to us. Like we experience trauma, we get hurt, and we really try to forget. Like, no, that didn't happen to me. But that's part of the story of who you are. So how are you ever going to fully know who you are and understand yourself when you're omitting parts of the story, when you hiding parts of the story? You know, it's like coming in um, the movie at the middle, right? And you're confused and you asking other people a bunch of questions about what happened and who is that and why is that person here. You got to ask yourself those questions so that you can really understand you. And when you understand you and you get to the root of what your soul really wants, then you can start getting in alignment. Then you can start understanding and being open to abundance. Then that's when, you know, the good shit is going to hit the fan and you're going to start experiencing real joy in your life. Not happiness, you know, but real joy in your life. And so part of that is you discovering and understanding your story, but the other part of that is being disciplined enough to let go of bad habits. Now, I'm not going to tell you what bad habits you need to let go, but you know that there are things in your life that don't really serve you, but you do them or you have them around because you've always done them, you've always had them around, or it's just easier, or a lot of things, right, of the why, but it just is what it is, right? You have to be willing to let go of the bad habits so that good things can come into your life. And one of the ways, and I say people will give you a lot of tips about letting go of bad habits, but the one thing that I could say has worked for me, right, is not spending a whole lot of time. Sorry, I'll take a screenshot of myself because I just caught myself looking good. But what has worked for me in terms of breaking bad habits is to replace a bad habit with a new habit, right? And you don't have to wait to replace the habit. Like some people are like, oh, I'm going to stop smoking, right? And I'm gonna focus on not smoking, right? And every day I'm going to, you know, say a little prayer and hope I don't smoke a cigarette. And I'm not going to go to the store and I'm not going to buy cigarettes, right? But what if, you know, and I know people, you know, people, when I used to work, people used to smoke at work. So they would always take, during their break, they're going to go and smoke, right? So how about instead of going outside to smoke for your break, you go into the break room and you have a cup of coffee. You play solitaire on your computer. You make a phone call to a friend. Like, immediately replace a bad habit with a good or better habit. And when I say good or better, probably coffee's not good for you either, but it's better than smoking cigarettes, we hope, right? So find things that you want to actually do. What are the good habits that you want to have in your life? And start replacing them. You don't have to do it all at one time. Like if you want to eat healthier, okay, stop eating fried foods and eat baked. Stop going out to eat and cook at home, right? Stop just eating whatever's there and focus on meal prep and like replacing those bad habits with good or better behavior. And that's the one thing that I can say that has really worked for me. I don't know what works for other people. That worked for me, right? I'm not, this is not a 7-step program. I don't know. I don't have anything other than that because that has worked for me. The issue with bad habits is a habit really becomes part of your lifestyle, and then you feel like it can't be replaced. You get into these things like, well, that's just who I am. I don't remember a time when I didn't smoke or I didn't blah blah blah. That's just who I am, right? But you can always start a new habit. You can always start a new life. You can always at any moment decide that you want something different and do it. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't really post anything on Facebook, but I be in those groups. And a lot of groups I'm in, some of the groups I'm in are parenting groups, I'm in homeschooling groups, I'm in people who have flipped the zip or moved out of state, right? And a lot of these things are like people waiting for permission. Like, how will I know when? How do I, you know, when is the best time to blah, 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 right? And people do a lot of that. And even like this whole Olympic thing, and I'm going to say this because y'all know, I was telling somebody the other day, I'm tired of talking about race, but I want to keep bringing it up, so I'm going to keep, repeating my shit from years ago. I'll say this. I am so tired of black people and their allies asking for permission. Like, do y'all really feel, and I'm gonna say this because y'all know I don't vote, I don't be with the politics, but do y'all really feel empowered when you go stand in line and you check a box for someone or something and they give you a sticker, and then you have to go back and say, please do this thing on behalf of me and humanity because it's the right thing to do? You feel empowered when you do that? I'm just curious. Because what I've been saying the past couple of days, this permission seeking is almost worse than people pleasing, right? Because basically what you're saying is, I need you to help me validate myself because I don't feel valid without your recognition, right? Like, this is all I got. So all the let her run campaigns, like, to me, it's just really a sad place to be in. Because to me, it's like, as a black person, like, we never watched the Olympics unless it was somebody black involved. Like, that's the whole reason I know who Dominique Dawes is, right? Because she was black in the Olympics, and that's the only part we watched. I didn't even know it was other parts of the Olympics, right? But all that to say, it's a national example of people posting things on Instagram. You think the Olympic Committee watching your stories? They are not. And they are not taking your vote seriously, right? Because they decided. And so I say that to say, again, going back. Because I trust the universe. I know that I don't have to seek permission from anybody, right? If it's in my heart, if it's in my soul, if I am given the strength and energy to pursue it, I'm going to pursue it, right? Which is why I needed to let that job go, which is why I needed to let that man go, which is why I'm here talking to you today, right? Because I didn't have to ask nobody but myself. And when it resonated in my soul and spirit, this is where we are. I just think that we get too caught up in not waiting for the right time and the right moment, but just hoping that the decisions that we make and the moves that we make, that other people are going to like them. And that is not the case. They're not supposed to like them. They're not supposed to like them. They're not supposed to understand them, really, because it's for you. It's not for them. But we want everything to be for everybody, which is why I started this by saying, I tell my friends basically, like, get y'all shit together. Because I want this abundant lifestyle to be for you too. This abundant lifestyle that I am propelling myself towards. Like, I want it to be for you too. Because I like you. I love you. You're my girl. You're the homie. Like, you're a family to me. But all said and done, if God is lifting me higher and your ass is still on the ground, I'm going to go with God. Truth be told. Right? Because I believe that, everybody that's supposed to be in my life is going to be in my life. And I have lost a lot of people. I was watching a movie with a friend, and I was saying, he was saying, like, this is the hardest movie I've ever seen, Menace to Society. I wouldn't recommend that y'all watch that. It's tough movie. It's a lot of death. But I was really thinking about it. Like, literally, I've been watching people die my whole life. I am no stranger to losing people, right? Like, people come and go. I don't say that lightly of like, well, fuck them, but people come and go. But I always believe that the people who are supposed to be in my life are going to be in my life for whatever reason, right? And I no longer get mad, right, when people leave. I'm not a part of their next chapter, their destiny. They aren't a part of mine. If it's meant for us to reconnect, we will. And some people I have reconnected with, right? But that's just kind of what it is. But that's all I got, y'all. I'm here to take questions. Y'all got a question? Y'all want to tell me something? Y'all want to tell me I'm wrong? Y'all want to go live with me? Y'all want to argue, debate? I'm here for it. I read y'all comments because I don't be reading. Yes, replacement behaviors. Yes, I would definitely look better driving that Tesla than anybody who's out driving it now. It's gonna happen sooner than y'all think. Y'all just wait on it. Maybe people joining the live. I don't even know. Y'all don't have no questions? All right, this will be, I've said everything is at brandywashere.com. This will be on my Patreon Monday night-ish. So, all you gotta do is go to my website, hit the link in my bio, sign up for my Patreon, show some love and support, and watch the replay. Y'all have a good Sunday.
Bye.